Hello! Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, we are doing a test run in our new and not improved studio yet.
We're working on it.
We tried.
It's a studio
and
in
failed.
progress.
We tried and failed.
Yeah.
We had planned to move into the studio about a year ago.
The movie was a little more intense than we thought.
It was a little more intense. That's a very small understatement.
Suddenly I'm liking the studio. It's not done yet, but we're in the process.
So if we can't figure out why Mike is shorter than me, although I am longer in the torso than Mike is, and he's longer in the legs, so that's why he's taller, but...
You just keep telling yourself that.
You want me to get the tape measure out? I'll get the tape measure out. I will measure to show proof. Why is that? That's why I could always put my arm around you, but you could never put your arm around me at the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, brother. Getting Brock commercials on our own videos. Okay. Hello. We are waiting for everyone to get on here. Thank you. Colleen and Wanda and Liz. I hope your move is going well. I'm thinking about you.
Love the wall color. Do you recognize it, Karen?
So we're going to talk about the wall. We're going to talk about the color scheme. Yeah, we're going to talk about the color scheme. Tara had an issue. Okay, we're going to get some people on here. And Ugly Jazz 41, was that Tara in the thumbnail? Yes, it was. Just about 5 hours ago? 6 hours ago. That was me in the thumbnail 6 hours ago. So I'm having some issues. And so I need advice. So I don't lose my mind.
Asking for advice. Wow.
I know. Hello from Colorado, Emily. Mike and the boys just came back from there yesterday.
Yep.
So getting everybody on here. Here's my handsome son.
I'm glad to see that a new studio will not prevent Jack from showing up and making a cameo appearance now and then.
There he is. So what did we go? Oh!
Out.
The banana got
5
lost.
second roll.
5 second rule. The boys and Mike went to Colorado and they picked up Jack's best buds in Colorado and brought them up here.
Yep.
So they are visiting with Jack. So, all right, let's see. Where are we at? Okay. Let us get going here. Let me see if there is...
Valerie wants to know what broke.
What broke? That broke. Yeah.
See how there's a shine on half of it and on the other half. Sorry.
Oh, listen to you. You want us to give you advice. Yes, Alicia, I need advice. Okay. All right, we got 650 people on here. We're going to go ahead and get started. Where are we at? Michael 335. Hello, I am Tara from Living on a Dime. And we are in our new studio. And here's what happened. Mike and the boys went to Colorado. They were taking my grandmother back and picking up Jack's 2 best buds from Colorado and bringing them up here to stay for a week. And so while they were gone, I told Mom, the studio is getting done. And on Wednesday, we are going live in the studio. I do not care what happens.
Cue the roof falling in.
Didn't quite work out like I had anticipated. So it's only a little bit done, not a lot. And so I'm going to tell you guys a story, and I need some advice because I have a little bit of an issue that's preventing us from moving forward on a bunch of things. And a road trip to Camp Tara, I'd sign up. Yes, we call it Camp Kellum for the boys, where they get to mow, and they get to pack books, and they get to help do yard work.
When they're bored playing on computers, don't boys love to do that in the summer?
So anyways.
We have determined already the studio will probably need an air conditioner.
Yeah, probably. Well, with the fan, it's not too bad. Can you guys hear the fan? So, okay, so we're doing a test run today in the studio. I want you guys to give us some feedback and let us know. First of all, can you hear the fan running in the background? Let me know if you can hear the fan. That's the one thing that we need to figure out if the fan is going to be a problem. Anna Renfro, are you related to Anita Renfro? We sort of knew her a little bit. So let's see. Can anybody hear the fan? No, they cannot hear the fan. No.
Wow.
Is the fan on high?
No.
Turned on high, and let's see if they can hear it. Okay, hold on. So we're doing a couple of tests with you guys in here, and then we're going to talk about our problems. So I was just bound and determined to get this thing done and finished. Okay, now we just turned the fan on high. Can you hear the fan? Let me know if you can hear the fan. Nobody can hear the fan. Jennifer. Hello. Now can you hear the fan?
Are there any windows, Trinity? There are 2 windows.
There's 3 actually.
Well, there are 3, but there are 2 that aren't covered up, and they are both open because they're really high. And I thought maybe if it would let the heat out because it was kind of hot and stuffy in here more so than outside.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay, still no fan. Yay, that's question number 1 answered. Very good. Now, next is, how does the sound sound? Is it echoey? Does it sound normal? Because we're wondering if we need to get sound dampening stuff. So tell me if we're echoey or sounds weird. How does the sound sound? Does it sound good?
Some of that we can listen to.
Sandy says it's an echo. And dear, you don't know about getting comments on YouTube, do you? There is a method to this.
Yes, so the echo is something I was concerned about, but we have an easy fix for it. We were just trying to see if it actually did it.
Okay, so that's what we were kind of wondering because we can fix that. We just didn't know if we need to fix that. So actually, do I need to bring that back from Colorado when I go take the boys back?
I might get a different kind. I'll have to research it tomorrow.
So anyway, okay, so that's good. So here's what happened. Mom and I got in here on Saturday. We were raring to go. Mom wasn't feeling too great. She was getting a cold. Grandma got a cold the day that she left, the day that she was leaving. She got a cold. And so then Mom had her cold and was over here helping me. And Mom scrub-a-dub-dubbed our stove and got it all sparkly. She spent 2 hours scrubbing the stove and got it all sparkly. Isn't it cool? That's pretty cool. You know, if I do say so myself. I got that for $50 at a garage sale. Yes. It was the week we moved here. Yeah, for $50 at a garage sale. And so we were scrubbing. I was finished putting the paint on the white cabinets here. I can't point because right there, well, behind Mike's head. And I was working on the window. This window took me 8 hours to restore. And then I broke it. I was so mad. That's what the thumbnail was about.
She was like, oh, the 100-year-old window.
Yeah. I think it's 1920, so it's 100 years old. And
yeah, the stove does look brand new, doesn't it, Big Am?
It looks good. And so then
I should take that stuff off.
We were, I was putting some touches on the paint, which I did not do on purpose, by the way. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. Got all of my soap stuff was all over here on, can you see over here? See all that? That was all on top. We got all that moved and got it all situated. And then Mom went home because she wasn't feeling good. And then Mom got the call from Grandma that Grandma tested positive for that thing going around. So Mom didn't have a cold. She had that thing going around for the last 2 years. So her and Grandma got that. which is why they weren't feeling so good. And so I proceeded to put the black paint on the countertop and went to Habitat for Humanity, got some old paint, or, you know, not old paint, but just, you know, how they recycle their paints there. And I got some paint for $5 and was all excited. Put the stuff on and didn't realize that I wasn't reading. I was just looking at black. Of course, the letters are like this tall on the paint can, so you think I would read it. And I got enamel instead of latex. Okay, no big deal.
What does that mean?
That means that it's oil-based instead of water-based. And it's a much more pain in the butt to work with. And takes a lot longer to dry, as we soon learned. So I pour the paint on, rollering. The next morning I come in because I'm gonna get all finished. I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff put up, get everything set up, get everything clean. And this cabinet over here needs to be brought down a ½ inch because it's too high. Although now I'm wondering if they both need to be just brought down a lot. Because now I'm thinking it may be just too high altogether.
But can you use the cabinet if you go down lower?
Can I use the counter?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not using the counter anyway, so it's not gonna matter. Oh, so we need to lower this. So I was like, that's no problem. The paint will be dry. So I go in. The paint's not dry. The paint's not even close to being dry. The paint is as wet as it was 24 hours ago when I put it on there. No problem. I can handle this situation. I can wait 48 hours. Okay. Put fans up. Got 2 fans running in here. Have the door open. Both doors open. It's 85 to 90 degrees. That's okay. Humidity's not too bad. Okay. So what you guys don't know is this is a garage. So see right here, I have the big garage door open all day. For 4 days. 4 days later, it still has not dried. So I did a test spot, and yesterday I took some acetone and found out I can take it off with acetone. It was still as tacky as could be. And this is where I need the advice. So it was tacky. I mean, it was just bad. And so Mike got home last night and I showed him, and I ran to Walmart and I got some mineral spirits, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the mineral spirits and I'm gonna get all the black off the counters, all of it off. And then I'll get latex paint and do it again. So this morning I came in and I was all dressed up in my paint gear, ready to do this. And now it's like actually acting like it's drying.
It looks really nice.
Go touch it. How tacky is it now? Let's see. Does your finger stick?
Oh, I can't come back. I'm stuck.
Oh,
I'm stuck to the counter.
Oh, let's see. Oh, that's what I thought. Oh, great.
Just kidding.
So let's see.
Trying to make the Velcro sound. No, actually, I mean, it didn't.
There's nothing
It wasn't
on it.
really sticky.
Okay. So then this morning I
It
come
was
in.
maybe slightly, but not. It was probably 30% of what it was yesterday.
I come in and I'm all ready to start removing it, and now it acts like it's drying. So has anybody had this situation happen? It has been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or else I did it Saturday afternoon. Oh, thanks, brother dear. My sister's projects are always great entertainment. You should be here and help me. I think he should. I think it should be a requirement of your brother to help you with these things.
Julie thinks Mike should do a comedy channel.
I told you so.
Okay.
I keep telling Mike he needs to do a comedy channel because he's always doing these one-liners. And oh, here's the best one of the week.
Whoa! What?
Okay, we're gonna take a whole bunch of people off, but it's okay. It's the beginning of the show. So Liz Cheney
No.
is our senator, right? Senator, that's what she is. Yeah, representative. Sorry. And yes, my son.
We're not very fond of her.
Did you need something?
I was told to go on the show because my friends are watching.
Your friends are watching.
Yes.
Your friends, wait, your friends
Say-
from Colorado that are like
In the
300
house.
feet away?
Yeah, they're about 300 feet away.
So, and then there's Dave. Okay, say hi, Dave.
Welcome to the apocalyptic bunker.
Dave keeps calling this the apocalypse. Come here, tell him what you described it as before the show.
We called it one of those anti-depression rooms in an apocalyptic bunker. So then when everything goes to pot and blows up, you still have some amount of joy.
Okay.
What?
Oh, that's kind of
I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, Dave and
It
Mike.
looks like them.
Dave and Mike need to do their own
Lots of
comedy.
hi, Dave and Jack.
So everybody said hi.
Hi.
Oh, and now Jack's friends are over here.
Wow, we've got a studio audience
We
now.
have a studio audience today. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Come here, guys. Okay, now when I say clap, you clap. Okay. What? They left.
Oh, our first studio
Our
audience,
first
and they
studio
ditched us.
audience.
They didn't even find out what was under their chairs.
Oh, does anybody remember that? I totally forgot about that. Oh, that's okay. Okay. Oh, yes, here. Okay, so the kids are too young to know what a studio audience is, but we know what a studio audience is. Okay, wait a minute. Tara is the best mom in the whole wide world. Applause, applause.
What?
Oh, we've got a great studio audience today.
Ooh,
Welcome,
look
everyone.
at how cool this thing is, studio audience. Okay, that's cute. Ooh. Ah. Whoa.
I'm leaving now.
Oh, goodbye, you guys. Go eat your sloppy joes.
Bye.
My goodness, which story was I on? I was on like 3 stories and I haven't finished any of them yet. Okay, so Mike's comedy channel. Here's what's funny. So Liz Cheney is our representative.
That's not the funniest thing.
It's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. So we're not real happy with her being a Wyomingite now. And so Mike said, he said it. He said, she keeps sending us all these flyers to vote for her. And he said, oh, that is so nice of her. We're going to make a nice little stack in the bathroom. And then when the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit, we will have TP when we can't get any.
Oh
Okay.
no, I hear crickets. I hear crickets.
Okay, so that's Mike's comedy channel. So back to my tacky paint. See, everybody, how much did we have to bribe them? I didn't actually bribe them, believe it or not.
Right. Oh, the studio
Jan
audience?
says, best comment ever, Mike. See, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. So I posted that on a video that they took a snippet because they did a debate here, her and what's the other lady's name? Hageman?
Harriet Hageman, yeah.
Hageman. Go Harriet. You actually got a brain on your shoulders, girlfriend. I'm gonna vote for you. Me and my 13 other selves. And if they can do it, we can do it. And so so let's see, where was, oh yeah, they did a debate here. They didn't let the public in, and they weren't going to even let the media in.
And they closed all the comments.
And
on the
they
live
closed
stream.
all the comments because they knew that people in Wyoming were going to take her down. People in Wyoming, we do not put up with that stuff. We do not put up with that. You are working for us. I got news for you, girlfriend. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, and I posted that on a little snippet they took of the debate, put it online, and I put Mike's joke on there. Oh my goodness, in like 10 minutes, I had 50 comments and like 300 thumbs ups on it, except then everybody started fighting. So I went and took it down because I don't know. start fighting because of my comment. So anyway, okay, so back to my problem.
Wow, people are saying you look like you've lost weight.
I have. I've lost 17 pounds. Thank you.
Wow, impressive.
You didn't recognize me when you got home, did you?
I didn't.
You said, who
Hi,
is that
Jennifer.
lovely skinny person in my home? Where did my wife go?
No, I knew it was you.
So back to my counter problem. Here's the question. Because it took 4 days to get to where it's at now, do I keep letting it dry? Let me see. It's almost dry.
Where are you? Oh, you're on the camera still. Okay.
It's like actually almost dry now. What would cause that? I mean, I'm not kidding. Yesterday when he came home from work, it was still as wet as when I put it on.
A couple people were saying that oil-based paint just needs to dry longer and it needs to not have any humidity. And it was kind of humid in here when everything closed.
Yeah, but I had everything open all day long.
I know, but it builds up again when you close it. So maybe that's good.
Yes, Mike has lost weight too. Good job, Lenny. Good job.
Thanks.
Let's see. So, okay. Well, I guess I'll just keep waiting. I don't know, because I can't fix the cabinets now until it dries, because we got to climb up there. And I don't want to get footprints in it. It needs to get harder on there. But anyway, so I guess I'll just go ahead and just let it be, I guess. I suppose. So
I told her I think it'd be better to let it be than to go to all the effort of trying to take it off and redo it. That
I don't want to do that.
it's not going to hurt us to wait another 4 or 5 days or a week or something to see what happens.
So anyway, Mike. Okay. Just ignore it. So then I was restoring this 1920s window. Somebody posted it on Upcycle on Facebook. There's an Upcycle Facebook group here where people post to sell and give away stuff. And somebody was giving that and another window away. And I was like, I'm taking it. It was 8:30 at night. I'm like, Mike, I'm running over there now. I was in my pajamas. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going. Threw on some pants, ran over there. And got it, and it was really falling apart and really rotted. And I was like, ooh, this is not good. But you know me, I like a good challenge. That's why I married Mike.
Ditto.
And
Except I didn't know it.
me either. And so I got it home. All the, not chinking, glazing, I think is what it's called, was falling out. So then some of the panes started falling out. So I'm like, okay, let me get it all cleaned. So I cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. And then everything started falling apart. And then I realized, oh my goodness, like a lot of the wood is kind of actually just rotted. So then I'm like, nope, I'm already this far into it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. So then I got it painted and I wood glued it together, stupid me, because it was falling apart. I took all the panes out very carefully, didn't break anything, wood glued it back together, not thinking in my brain that you don't do that with a complicated design like this, because if you do it without the panes in there, it doesn't square up right. So when I went to go put the panes back in, I was working right along. Now there was 2 of these ones right here missing. And so I went to the glass shop and she cut it for me. Super excited. I thought I had found a window for $200 instead of $6,000 for my kitchen. Super excited because I got to talking to him about that. Man, my nose is itchy. I'm sorry, guys. And so I was all excited, came home, started putting the panes all in. And my thought was, oh, I'm going to do great. I just can't break one of these big ones. So I'm moving along, putting them in there, and I get the last two in, and they won't go in. And I'm like, oh man, couldn't figure out what was wrong. And I kept trying to wiggle them and all that and get them in there. And I snapped one. I was like, okay, that's fine. Take it to the, I'll just leave it in there. I try to do my projects where there's something broken or not done right, so I'm not a perfectionist. I'll just leave the crack paint in there. It's fine. Go to do the last one. Snap it in two. So here I was thinking, I can't break any of these panes, and I do. Well, thankfully, I go back to the glass shop again, and she was able to recut it, and it was only $12. So I was like, well, that's pretty good. So then I went and put them in today, and they still didn't fit. I had to cut them shorter, and they still didn't fit. And so then I took a chisel and started chiseling at some of the wood and just removed some of the wood, and now they fit, and everything's glued back in there. So now we're hoping we can get it hung without breaking it, is what we're hoping. So that was my sad face for the thumbnail because I was just so sad.
Well, you were also sad about the counters because you thought you were going to have to strip everything and redo it all over again.
Yeah, what you guys don't know is don't say what I did because Mom doesn't know yet. I'm surprising her.
Oh, you mean what you did that you were telling me?
That you need your heart pills for. So I kept telling Mike because he was,
yes. And all that.
I kept telling Mike, I said, just remember when you come home, you married me for better or for worse. He's like, what did you do now? Well, just as he had happened to say that on Facebook, a chuck wagon came up for sale. I thought, I need a chuck wagon. Don't you agree?
Yes. Yeah, she texted me asking me, what do you think about me getting a chuck wagon? And I was thinking, she's serious? And I was thinking,
well,
this is my wife. It's likely she could be serious.
You want to see if our UPS guy wants to be live? And so I took a screenshot of this chuck wagon and I said, well, I think I need one of these. And he's like, what? I said, well, it could be a tiny house to go with BJ's tiny house that he's doing. So
chuck wagon, yes, Lisa.
I'm like, just remember for better or for worse. I said, and take your heart medication before you come home.
Another Lisa says, you so need a chuck wagon. I was like, we're definitely getting the Wyoming team going.
Should have got it. Actually, if it wasn't for the fact that it was in a different town and I had no idea how I would get it here, I would probably have bought it. But anyway, while he was gone, I did buy a 1920s sink to go with my old 50s oven. I found a cast iron sink, and I bought that while he was gone. Well, so then while they were gone, I decided to get, did you guys see my painting picture that I put up the other day? Let's see, was that before? Oh yeah, I don't think I've been live since then. Have I? Or have I?
Since
no,
what?
I think I have.
What?
So my peacock plume.
Oh, yes.
That's the color of my shirt. So my shirt inspired me. And so while they were gone, I got inspired because I've been feeling better and I've got energy again. And I started on a painting rampage. And let me tell you, I painted and 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 I painted. On Saturday, I had 8 painting projects going at one time. I'm not exaggerating. Then I got all those done, and on Sunday, I decided to do a major painting project. That's the one that I had to tell him to take his heart medicine for, which I'm not going to show you guys because Mom may be watching and I haven't told her yet what I did. So I'm waiting for her to come over after she's done feeling better, after she got that thing going around. And so, so I did another huge painting project. So I was working my little kabooty off all weekend long. But I feel so good because actually it feels like our house now, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually it does. I was really surprised.
Now that it has Tara's touch to it.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of things to make the house very much more homey.
Yep.
It didn't occur to me how much in the past she's always done up the houses super nice.
Yeah.
But our last one, she put in gardens and painted it and then just kind of got discouraged and stopped doing everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize till now.
Well, it's not that I got discouraged. I was moving.
What?
I didn't know it was going to take me 5 years to move.
Yeah. She was. See, she says I was moving.
I just waiting for everybody else to come along behind me. That's all I'm going to say about that. So here's the thing. Do you know what happened this Wednesday last year?
Last year. I was thinking 3 years ago. Sorry. Last year. No, I don't recall.
You can't remember what happened last Wednesday?
This coming Wednesday? Or
No.
last Wednesday?
This Wednesday last year.
Today, last year.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
It was our last live show at the old house.
Was it?
Yep.
I just had that right on the tip of my tongue.
I'm sure.
I keep those details handy normally.
So it was our last show at our old house this Wednesday last year, which means next week is when we actually moved into the house a year ago.
Wanda says I need to come behind you with the chuck wagon.
You did.
And Alicia said, after defending me, then she said, the chuck wagon could serve as my doghouse. Thanks, Alicia. I appreciate that.
So it'll be a year next week since we moved to this house. So I'm going to do a tour of everything we've done. I'm going to show you all my painting that I did and what I ended up deciding on my peacock plume, and which kind of went a little too peacocky for my taste. And so I'm going to do a whole tour of that. I'm going to do a tour of what I've done on the inside. I know, Kimberly, we can't believe it's been a year either, but it's like Mike was saying, was it yesterday or something? He said, you know, and I'm going to do a tour of the gardens too, showing you all the hail damage and everything. But he's like, I feel like 9 months of our lives in the last year was just sucked out of us. And this move really did a number on us. It was bad. This was probably the worst move we've ever had. And we've moved a lot, but this was the worst one. It was. Well,
it's nice to be
I
here
don't know.
now.
The Hoopy house was pretty bad.
That was really bad.
And maybe the second worst. This is the second worst move.
But there we could have just set all our stuff on fire and left the house.
Should have.
We should have. It would have been in better condition afterwards.
We spent that move. BJ and Ellie were 1 and 2.5, and it was the move from hell. I mean, it was awful. It was absolutely the worst move ever. It started off with us. Well, I won't even go into it. It's too long of a story. It was just awful. It was the move from hell, and so anyway. Now we're just finally feeling like we're getting into the house, getting settled, getting things put in, getting things done. And there's a lot of deferred maintenance with this house that we're having to do too. Like the gutters need to be cleaned and reattached, and like the garage door seals aren't working. And so those got to be fixed and stuff like that. So we're doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. Denise, mom got that thing going around. Her grandma did before grandma left. And, she
but none of the
is
rest
not
of
feeling
us,
well.
None of the rest of us did, though.
No, we didn't get it this time, thankfully. And so yes, the last move was worth it, Alicia, definitely. I mean, I'm so glad we moved here. It's like, I wish we would have moved here 10 years ago, but.
Yeah, it was a really difficult move, but it was probably one of the best
things we did.
Things in terms of moves. I mean, I think moving to Andover was really a good choice at the time.
Yeah.
But It was a really good move in the end. And it's funny because going down to Colorado, I realized hiking in the mountains there with kids, I was thinking, wow, I really, really like the old mountains and the high Rockies. But our mountains here, we haven't had a lot of experience with. We've done a little bit. And then I got together with some of my Bible study friends, and I was thinking it is really nice to have those close friends that I've had for ages and ages. But other than that, I didn't really miss it. I was really glad to come
You didn't
home.
miss it. You called me after you were there 30 minutes and like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we lived here. This is awful.
Well, what happened is we were at a place that was normally about 25 minutes from our home previously. And we had to take a detour because the interstate was so congested. And the way that we went to detour, I knew the road, so I kind of thought I knew what to expect, but I was wrong. What would normally have been about a 7 to 10 minute drive took us an hour.
Yeah.
And I realized there was a whole lot more growth out that direction than the last time I had been there, although it probably was sort of like that when we moved already. But just the amount of massive number of people.
Yeah. And it's funny because we feel, we don't want people in Wyoming to think that people in Colorado are doing what people from California did to Colorado. Does that make sense? Although sometimes they kind of are a little bit. But so to kind of, when people say, oh, where are you from or whatever, now they don't so much. But if I have to say something about moving, I always say we're refugees from Colorado.
Yeah.
So they know that we're not coming here to change everything because we're not.
Yeah, pretty much wherever you move, if you move there because you like it there, not because you want to go there and then have what you had before. Because wherever people are, they like things where they are. Mostly, they like things the way they are.
Was it difficult moving all your preps? I didn't move all my preps. I gave probably 75% of it away to my neighbors. Our neighbors were extremely helpful while we were living there. And we didn't really feel like we helped them as much as they helped us a lot. And so I gave like 75% of it to the neighbors. So yes, Diana, make a second planting of green beans now. You can. And so anyway, okay, so first of all, guys, let me just say real quick, commercial break. Diana Dime Cookbooks, Volume 1, Volume 2, and gluten-free is upside down. There you go. That's gluten-free. And there's Volume 2 right there. 25% off right now. And we also have our planners. I have Polka Dot and Tropical left. There's Tropical.
Nice.
And Polka Dot, and these suckers are huge 366-day planners, and they are wonderful, 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 but I only have a limited number because I can't find a printer to print them for me. So, and we have 26 pallets of books on the ship headed our way.
How many pallets do we still have here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Get about
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12,
15.
13.
So we have about 13 pallets still here, which should get us for quite a while, but we have 26 more coming because we didn't want to run out again like last year.
Yeah. The planners are undated. I did undated planners. They are undated. So
Julie, we have kept in contact with the old neighbors that we were really close to.
Yeah.
There were a couple that we liked pretty well, but didn't know that well. And haven't really been in touch with them, but the ones that we're really, really close to, we did get in touch with.
Okay, guys, put your questions. Heather's got a question, and I'll answer it in just a minute. So put your questions in there, and then we're going to answer questions here real quick. So I'm going to tell you about my color scheme in here. Do you recognize it? I know. So here's what happened. I did not, by any stretch of the imagination, mean to recreate my old kitchen. But I was looking on Pinterest for retro kitchen ideas. And I came along this green kitchen with yellow cabinets and black countertops. I'm like, ooh, I really like that. So I was going to paint the cabinets yellow. But then I didn't have a way to cover the cabinets back here. I'm not doing very good at this. The cabinets back here. This right here. Okay. So I found this yellow fabric and I thought, oh, I'll use that to cover. Well, then as I was going along, I'm like, the first green I put on here, I didn't like. I was like, oh, that's too, I don't know. It was too tealy. So I mixed it in with some house paint that I had. They were both free. So I'm like, I'm not going to lose anything. I rolled it out. I'm like, oh, I love that color. Dumb me, as I'm painting the entire thing. The next day I come in and I'm like, that's my kitchen from the old house. I can't believe I just recreated the kitchen from my old house. So I didn't mean to do it that way, but Mom and I have some plans to decorate it, so it's not going to look exactly like it. But anyway, so I didn't mean to do that, but I just must love this green, black, and white. So that's all right.
You did a nice job painting it at the other house. We just weren't that fond of the house.
Yeah, I like the kitchen colors and everything. The kitchen just didn't have enough storage space or anything.
And it did pretty up the house and make it a more pleasant place.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I honestly had no intention of just recreating the new kitchen, but somehow I did without beknownst to me. And so anyway, we're just going to go with it because I'm tired and I'm not changing it. And well, the last kitchen was red and white, and that's actually what this is going to end up kind of being.
You know what I think would be funny is after it's all done, somebody who hasn't watched the show in a while will join it, and they won't realize that we moved at all. What happened to that window that was over here? I don't know.
Yeah. So yes, I'm going to display some of my garage sale finds. So what I'm using this for is I'm going to display, like I have kitchen stuff from my great grandma on my dad's side, my grandma on my dad's side, my great grandma on my mom's side, my other great grandma on my mom's side, my grandma on my mom's side, mom and my stuff. And so I'm going to go and start decorating with all of my grandmas and all their old stuff and put it in there. And just, we've got some ideas for it to look super cute, I think. I think we do. So anyway, yeah, green is a calming color. Maybe that's my problem. Oh, that's why Dave said that this is his depression bunker, because it'll be nice and calming when the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit. We need a place to.
It is very quiet, except for the echo, which we can fix. Can you imagine once the echo is done? It'll be super quiet.
So hopefully next week when I come back from taking the boys back home to Colorado, the echo will be taken care of, we hope. And so all of that to say, next week, not for the live show, but then the Friday after that, I'm doing a tour of the house. And I'm going to show you guys everything that we have done to the new house.
Yep.
So, yes. All right. Questions, my dear.
Well, I've just been capturing things as we've gone. Not a whole lot.
Okay. Yes. So I think I'm going to. Oh, Amazing Grace! I'm so sorry you had such a bad storm. Wow, that's awful.
I thought that would trigger your story about our
Oh,
storm.
last night we had the thunderstorms of all thunderstorms. Now, guys, we lived in Kansas. We know what thunderstorms are. We are not new to thunderstorms. I have to say, I think last night was the worst thunderstorm we have ever had in our entire lives. I mean, it was terrifying. Dave, who's Mr. Weatherman and loves them, he was running around like a chicken with it. I think it hit here. I think it here. And it's like the lightning was hitting all around us. At one point, he swore it hit the house because we have this skylight in our house. He said, Mom, it just lit up, like it just hit straight on the skylight, which it could have, maybe. But I think we have so many trees that I don't think it would hit it. But oh my goodness, it was the thunderstorms to beat thunderstorms. I've never seen lightning or thunder like it before. It was just lightning, 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 lightning.
Well, what I was surprised about is it seemed the lightning was massively brighter than lightning usually is.
It was like it was right there in our backyard. It was pretty crazy. So, okay, Susan. I can't read it.
Oh, wait, whoops. No.
How's your kitchen remodel in your house coming? It's not. We're trying to pay off the house first. With everything going crazy, we're trying to get that done. Is there glass in the stove behind you?
It's the glass behind the stove.
It's this window. That's what the lights are reflecting off of, is something that we're going to have to work on fixing too.
I agree with this one.
Are you really going to move the cabinets a half inch down? Probably. I mean, this one is higher than this one. I can't handle it. And now that I'm looking at it on camera, we need to position where we're going to be for sure in here, because I think actually they're too high anyway. I did them higher because I wanted more decorations under there, but now I'm thinking that was maybe a bad idea. So, ooh, yay. Liz is moving the first week of August. Yes, it's always Bedlam. Heather, if I marry someone who lives out of state and need to move, how much of my stuff in family's house should I move to the new place that aren't close? Well, I mean, you just got to decide what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep. I mean, are you marrying somebody like you have kids and he has kids and you're wanting to mix your stuff together or what? I mean, I can't really tell you on that. That's just what you're going to have to decide, what you want to keep and what you don't.
Yeah. Typically, we would move everything that's ours. I mean, if we were in that situation individually, we would move everything that's ours out of our parents' house or family's house or whatever, and then the stuff that we don't want, we'd probably get rid of it before we go, right?
Well, you wouldn't move it first. You'd get rid of it first and then move
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
I said it backwards.
Yeah. We would move it. We would get rid of everything and then just move what's left. Beth, what do we do for our skin? Actually, I have a video on that. If you go type in makeup, I think, makeup routine, but we don't really do anything. I think it's just good genetics. So
also, no smoking, no drinking.
Yeah, no smoking and no drinking helps too, actually, I think.
Okay. Well, I was about to copy it, but Shannon's just wondering about the flowers.
What flowers?
How are your flowers?
Oh, I'm doing a video on that next week, and I'll show you what it looks like.
Jenny and the hostas?
Yeah, stupid deer ate all my hostas.
Just a bunch of stems. And she keeps, now today she was rooting around in there trying to get the new leaves that are trying to grow.
I got dead dried blood. I got dried blood. And I've been putting that out there for 3 days. Not on the hostas yet. I've been trying it on something else. It's dried blood and cayenne pepper. So the only problem is the wind blows a little bit and it's this dust. And when you fling it, if the wind's blowing, it comes back in you and your sinuses and your eyes are very cleared. So
Sandra said buy deer off. I was thinking, I told her we
similar.
Should put some kind of netting over it so the deer
Yeah, it's similar.
Can get annoyed by it. Okay, wait.
Okay, let's see. Tara needs to bring her big mug to the street. Yes, I do.
It's a big one that says golf.
Well, that's part of my frustration with the counters not drying was this week while Jack's friends were here. They don't know this, if you guys are watching. But I was going to have them move all of the studio stuff over here. Well, we had a lot of hands.
Suddenly they're gone. They get up before us and they take a walk around town before us.
And so that was one of the reasons why I was doing that. Tracy made our hamburger casserole in Diane Volume 1.
Yay.
And it's delicious. Yay.
That's actually a really one of our probably top 10, right?
Susan has all of our books, and I can't read her comic because Michael clicked away. She uses them all the time. Thank you. Guys, 25% off right now. Let's see, what else? And Anita likes your sense of humor, dear.
Thank you, Anita. Was
Sheridan crazy for the 4th? No. It was like as calm as could be. It was beautiful. I went to bed at 9 o'clock. Didn't hear anything. It was great. Your grape jelly barbecue sauce recipe is what? Grape jelly and ketchup?
If you go to our website, livingonadime.com, you can type in barbecue sauce, and there's a post with
all of them. And it's in volume 1.
It has some other ones as well.
Have you found someone to install a wood stove? Nope, because I'm not willing to pay $10,000 for it.
Yeah, they
Probably
wanted-
if the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit, we have no heat. I would wish I would have paid the $10,000, but
We could. I know how to put it in. It's just that we didn't want to have me put it in because our insurance would probably not cover it if the house were burned down. But if it was life and death, massive.
well, we could move into here. We could actually move into here
and put it in
and
here.
put it in here out the window,
Because this is a separate building from the other one.
and it would be fine. Probably it would be a fine shop one, but
Well, and here there are two small windows. We could just take the window part out and run that stack out there.
yeah.
That would work too if we had to.
Yeah. Deanna says she's made multiple recipes out of our volume 1. 25% off, guys.
Yay!
Thank you. And they have all been, oops, I missed it, a hit.
Look, Ginger was
Very
pretty
good.
proud of herself.
Ginger, I combined 5 for 5 sales and coupons this weekend. We ended up with 15 boxes of cereal. Oops. I felt like you, Tara. You go. That's great.
Ooh, So Good 2008 made Mike's Biscuits from Volume 1. Oops, it went away. It was so easy and delicious. Made breakfast sandwiches. Yes. Wow. Was there enough butter in them for you?
Yeah.
I absolutely loved those. I don't eat them very much now, but
Who is that?
because of the butter thing.
Oh, Mom of 4 says, Dag Mom of 4? I don't know what it is.
DGA Mama Force.
DGA Mama 4 says her daughter made the gluten-free cake with chocolate frosting, and it was great. Isn't it good? It's like and the coconut cake. I'm so sad. My birthday is in a couple of weeks. I turn 50.
What? Perish the thought.
Will I have some wisdom? Will I have earned my gray hair by then?
I think about Rick telling me in the past that the older we get, the younger they are. Or no.
Yes.
Actually, a different friend told me that. I had one friend tell me that, and another friend tell me, well, a lot of younger people than us were walking past this one day that, isn't it funny how they all get younger and younger while we stay the same? I love
and last year for my birthday, I made the coconut cream cake out of here. I think it was out of here. And I made that for my birthday. I made my own cake for my birthday because I wanted it to actually taste good.
What?
And
What are you saying? Have I ever cooked anything you didn't like?
no, but you only cooked 2 things, so I don't trust you.
I've cooked more than that. Sometimes I've cooked in the past on the show when Tara was gone. I would cook things in there, and sometimes there would be things I had never cooked out of dining before, and I cooked it, and I was thinking, whoa, look at how it turned out. This is awesome. I was like, I guess that's why it's a good cookbook. It was just funny because it was some things I had never made before. I had no idea what they were going to taste like.
So what I did was I took the white cake in dining, and I added some coconut flavoring to it. And then I took the buttercream frosting and I added coconut and coconut flavor to it. Oh my goodness. I ate that entire cake myself, which is why I'm very sad this year I'm not making a cake for my birthday. But it was so good. Oh my goodness. I about died and went to heaven. It was all gluten-free, all dairy-free, and it was delicious. It just wasn't sugar-free. And so I'm sugar-free now, and I'm trying to stay sugar-free.
Whoa, a lot of coming up birthdays. And, who was it that had a birthday today? I saw one. Anyway. Lulu, do you have pictures of the grandmothers that you have the items from you are putting in the studio? I have a picture of my mom cooking at the stove in the 1950s framed in the kitchen.
Yeah, I do.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Lori says you're fabulous looking 50.
Thank you. John 3:16. Wait, you're sugar-free? Now I am. So I had a food sensitivity. I've known this issue for a long time, but I had a food sensitivity issue or test, and sugar was like one of the top things that I have food sensitivities to, which I know because every time I cut out the sugar, I feel 1,000 times better. It's just, oh my goodness, guys, cutting sugar is not easy. Let me tell you, it's not easy at all. But I've been weaning myself down for quite a while. And it got to the point where 3 weeks ago, I think I've been sugar-free for 3 weeks. So I've been dairy-free and gluten-free. And I did a food sensitivity test in January, and I went off everything. And then I started adding stuff back in. And so 3 weeks ago, I'd added sugar back in because I just really like sugar. Not a lot. I just put like a half a teaspoon in my tea. I honestly probably didn't eat more than 2 tablespoons of sugar a day, if that much. I really wasn't eating a lot. But I decided 3 weeks ago, I woke up and I could hardly move my hands. And because I think I'm getting arthritis maybe. And it's been getting worse over the last year. I've been getting worse and worse. Well, I could hardly hold. I went to go write something and I couldn't hold the pen. My hand it was just like I couldn't get the pen to stay in my hand. So I had to keep working, and I did. Yeah, it's the same with honey for me too, I think. I don't know. I'm going to retest here in just a little bit. So I was like, I have got to do something. And I was thinking, well, okay, I've cut out the gluten, I've cut out the dairy. I haven't completely cut out all the sugar. So let's just go ahead and try again, cutting out the sugar. And within like 3 days, I started feeling significantly better. And now I feel like a totally new person.
So Deborah wants to know, what do you eat?
Not much at the moment. So I eat a piece of gluten-free toast with an egg and ghee, fried in ghee or bacon grease. For breakfast, I'll have like a piece of ham, lunch meat, or leftover chicken. Or this weekend they had steak on sale, so I bought myself a couple of steaks to celebrate being home by myself all weekend. And so I had like a steak, and that was my lunch and dinner. And then I had some pineapple, blueberries, and coconut milk smoothie. I did have popcorn one night. Rice checks with some ghee and salt like popcorn. And that's all I've been eating. And tea without sugar or water.
At least you have the tea.
At least I haven't.
Can't do without the tea.
It doesn't taste the same without sugar, but I feel so much better and I can use my hands again that it's worth it. And like this weekend, I was doing so much painting that my hands started going numb. So I was kind of like, ooh, I gotta be careful. I can't overdo it. So
Julie says they have cocoa ghee. Maybe try that, she says. Is that,
Why?
did you say something about not being able to eat chocolate?
no.
Oh, I thought maybe that was why.
Why would you do that to butter?
Maybe if you can't eat chocolate, I don't know.
Yeah, but if it doesn't have sugar in it, it would be really nasty. You'll have to explain more. Who was that?
Julie.
Julie, you'll have to explain more because I don't understand why you would do that.
So South Loop River Homestead is wondering, how do you do a food sensitivity test?
So I had mine done through the doctor, but Mike had one done that I just got off of Amazon. Now they're not perfect. Like some things it says I'm sensitive, and when I went off everything and then I started testing stuff back in, it was just fine. Like broccoli, it said I couldn't eat broccoli. Like I'm not exaggerating. My food sensitivities test said I had 43 foods that I wasn't supposed to eat. It was ridiculous. I was literally for January and February eating pork, pineapple. What was the third thing? Do you remember? Chicken. I was eating pork, pineapple, and chicken. That's all I was eating for January and February. You would have thought I would have lost weight, but I didn't. And honey. I had a little bit of honey in my tea. Those 4 things is what I had in tea. So 5 things, I guess, if you count the tea. And then I started adding stuff back in and testing to see what I'm really sensitive to. It's stuff like broccoli and avocados. They said that I shouldn't eat, but then when I ate them, I felt just fine. So Ghee is not expensive, actually. I make it at home, just out of butter.
It's
And
expensive to buy it made.
yeah. If you buy it in the store, it's expensive. My goodness, it's super easy. You just dump the butter in the pan and cook it on low, medium low, until it becomes clear. And then you just separate the foam off the top and pour the fat into your thing and leave the proteins, which have fallen to the bottom, the milk proteins, which have fallen to the bottom. It's super easy. So I make a jar of ghee like this much for, well, $3 now.
Mojave Desert 3381, would it be the same with honey? Yeah, you can't have the honey either. Right?
So my food sensitivity test says I can do honey, but when I was doing it, I wasn't losing any weight. So that's why I cut out all sugar 3 weeks ago. And I've lost 3 pounds in 3 weeks from doing that.
And Rhonda asked about are natural sugars okay? No. The thing on the food sensitivity test, the one that I took, the one that Tara bought on Amazon, there are like 3 or 4 different versions that you can get. And I got one that was pretty inclusive, but not the biggest one. Mainly if there's something you think might be a problem for you, it'd be good to test that. But it even said, it shows, it has like a little graph with 5 little blobs in it, and it shows a line that comes up. How far the line comes up is how reactive you were to that. And a lot of stuff is in everything has some amount of reaction. So down in the first line, everything has a little bit of a line there. So I don't consider that to be significant. But some of the things, like for me, 3 different kinds of milk things were all the way to the 5, like maxed out on the top. And it says, even the instructions to the test say it's only a guide. So kind of what I figured is I was already suspecting milk. And there were some other things too, because it said for me broccoli and pineapple and other things that I really like. And so I was, on those things what I would say on that test, kind of what I did is I cut out everything that it said might be suspicious, and then I started adding them. Because you could do a food, what is that, an elimination diet, where you eat nothing but rice for a week, and then you add one thing every so many days. And I just thought, I can't be doing a test that long, or else I'll just completely blow it and fail. So starting with the test, it was really good to cut back things down to what the test said, and then see how I felt after a few days, and then add some of the things that I wasn't sure were a problem for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it worked pretty well, but unfortunately I did find that milk is a problem for me.
Yeah. He's always had this throat clearing issue, and that totally went away when he cut the milk. And so, yeah, so that totally went away. But yeah, ghee is just clarified butter, basically. Sometimes people cook clarified butter so that it's browned more and has a more nutty taste. I don't like the nutty taste. But monk fruit I can do, I think. I can do monk fruit. I can't do xylitol. It gives me issues where I may need to use Liz Cheney's mailers. Let's just put it that way.
So it's
and so and I can eat like fruit, but like natural things like coconut sugar and honey and all of that, I don't know if this is going to be.
So South Salute, how does the test know? What they did is the test, they mail you the test, and it has a little thing, and you have to poke your finger and drop a certain number of drops of blood on 4 or 5 little spots on the card, and then you mail it to them, and they look at it. Or they apply certain things to certain parts of it under, I forgot, in the laboratory, and then they see which things that it's reacting to. And again, it might say that you react to something, and it's possible you might not have a problem with that, but I was going to test. I've eaten broccoli a few times since then. I don't think it's a problem for me. So, but some of the things that it said, I was already suspecting, and cutting them out, I feel a lot better. So,
it's just a food sensitivity test on Amazon. Mike, do you have a link? Can you go get a link? We'll put a link in there for you.
Do you call which one?
You'll have to switch to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can show you which one.
Cool.
Mike will get a link for you here. Food log is what Cowboy Cowgirl Jones did. Wrote everything down. I ate for 7 days. Wrote how I felt. Removed food. Yeah.
Part of the problem is some things it's sorry, I'm trying to just do things at once. Some of the things that still affects you for a few days, and so it's a little bit hard to tell at times. Where I, for a lot of years, thought this is a problem for me, and then I would realize, oh wait, it's not. That's kind of why the test was helpful, because it gave me a sort of a starting point. And I forgot it was like $80 or something like that, or
The one I got you was $200, I think. So it's like $250. But let's see, which one was it? It was here. It was $200. Scroll up.
that one wasn't it.
No. It's that one right there. So I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah. So Michael put the link in there for you. It's $200. But I mean, I'm not exaggerating. He was absolutely driving me nuts with his throat clearing. He was clearing his throat. Like, I timed it one time because I'm like, okay, am I losing?
Actually,
Am I losing my mind, or is he doing this all the time? And I actually timed it, and he was doing every 30 seconds to a minute and a half, and he's not quiet about it. And I was like, dude, you're going to end up divorced if you keep doing this. You got to stop. Well, come to find out, it was the milk. And when he cut out the milk, it went away.
You're gonna divorce me over this? What? Well, at least I should thank you for sending me the test, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was for selfish reasons, but
So it's just a food sensitivity test, and you prick your finger and you squish out some blood, and yeah, it kind of stings a little bit, but just suck it up and do it. And you squish your blood drops onto the little card, and then you mail it in. Now,
so I'm putting the link to the one that Tara gave me. That same company and several other ones have varying levels. Like this one tested for 96 things. You could test for fewer things or more things. And I think there were a couple of things that this had that weren't in the other one that we were unsure if that might be a problem for me.
Now, if you don't want to do a food sensitivity test, which, like I said, it's not necessarily 100% reliable. Like some things they'll tell you you're not fine with and you actually are. So you'll have to kind of use some common sense and listen to your body and that kind of thing. But if you don't want to do that, an easy way to do it is to go on a fast for 3 days and not eat anything, and then start adding one food at a time every 3 days back into your diet. Or you can eat rice for only 3 days and then add one food every 3 days back into your diet. That gives it time for you to have a reaction to the food if you are going to have a problem with it. So, and like for me, it said no eggs, but I do just fine with eggs. But here's what's interesting. For me, I now know when I start feeling bad when it's a food sensitivity issue. And the last 3 or 4 days, and if you eat something that doesn't make you feel good, take an Alka-Seltzer, just a regular Alka-Seltzer, or an Alka-Seltzer Gold if you don't want the aspirin in it. And that will help you feel better. So just take an Alka-Seltzer if you've eaten something and you feel like you've been poisoned. Well, oh shoot, where was I going for that?
Thank you, Cowboy and Cowgirl Jones.
I was, oh crud, what was I talking about? It was important. Oh yeah, food sensitivity. So you can eat like rice for 3 days in a row and then eat only eggs and rice the next 3 days. And then if you're okay, then you can keep eating eggs and rice and then add in milk. Okay, milk makes you sick. So you know you're gonna cut out milk. So then wait 3 more days on just the eggs and rice. Give time to clear your system. And then go again, eggs, rice, broccoli, whatever, however you want to do it. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just, you got to give your system time to clear it out and then do it. So you can do it that way without having to pay for a test. And I've done it like that several times, but I had so many weird food sensitivities and I just was not really figuring it out. Well, so even like the last 3 nights, I've been really, really sick at night. I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I just realized the coconut milk that I got has guar gum, whatever, however you say it. Well, that's one of the things on my sensitivity, and I didn't even know it on my test that I didn't even know it. And so now I'm not going to be able to use that coconut milk. I just have to get straight coconut milk. So
Michelle was shocked and wondering if it'd be less expensive at the doctor. So
sometimes the doctors will pay for it.
If you have insurance that'll pay for it, it could be less. Although, to be honest, for us, we do health sharing and we don't have a regular medical plan. And to be honest, I really like not having the hassle of all the stuff that goes with the doctor and the insurance and everything else when I could just buy a test and send it in. I mean, I would go to the doctor if it was something that needed to be treated by the doctor. Yeah. Then I would go there and have them do it. Yeah, but honestly, I would probably buy a test and do it myself because of who I am, rather than go to a doctor, even if it was a little bit more expensive to do.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like the bureaucratic part.
Mojave Desert says, heard bad things with seed oils. What are good oils? Listen, I don't worry about that stuff. I know I have food sensitivities, but here's the thing. Unless you're frying food every day, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, the teaspoon of bacon grease that I use to make my eggs in the morning, it's not that big of a deal. Shortening, when you use it to make your cakes and cookies and stuff, yeah, you use a half a cup of shortening for the entire cake. You're not supposed to eat the entire cake by yourself. So you got to think each time, every day, how many of those oils are you actually eating a day? Maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons? If you're eating more than that, you need to be changing what you eat just in general to healthier stuff. And so, I mean, it's better to stay with things like butter and that kind of thing, but to go with coconut oil or whatever, I don't worry about it. I just buy the vegetable oil and I don't use a whole lot of it. We maybe fry stuff twice a year, maybe. And so that's why I don't worry about it. Yeah, so Alicia, I've been referred to allergy testing and it's covered. Yeah, I mean, if it's covered, just go get it done at your doctor's office. You can do that.
The funny thing on the milk is we were wondering if it's there's sort of just a genetic thing involved, because
all 4 kids couldn't have dairy when they were born.
Well, and they all have indications that even though they all eat it, that they have problems with it now. In fact, Dave will eat a pizza with lots of cheese on it and he'll say how sick he feels. I'm like, dude, it's really not worth the 5 minutes of yum.
Shannon, hello. How are you?
Dee Dee says, my experience is that wind chimes keep deer away from gardens.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing something like that. What health share do we lose? Right now we're with Zion. We've only been with him for a year. Do not go near Liberty. Oh my goodness. Did they ever pay us for all that stuff?
Yeah, eventually we got, yes, mostly I think.
I'm not kidding. Liberty was a nightmare. It took them a year to pay us.
Well, it was good at first,
stuff.
but they suddenly, I think, started having financial problems and they weren't managing it very well.
Yeah, so we changed to Zion.
Has a much better model for what they're doing, and I believe that it's based on their business model that they're actually going to stay solvent. And there's another one that somebody recommended to us, but we haven't tried. Christian Health Sharing or something.
Samaritan, I think they said. I can't remember.
Some people like them, but I found out that for us, the price was going to be pretty high.
Yeah. What kind of oils do I buy? I buy all of it. I use lard, I use shortening, I use olive oil, I use coconut oil, I use sunflower oil, I use canola oil, I use just vegetable oil mix, I use bacon grease. I just use it all, just for whatever I need it for.
Oh, it got a lot nicer now. It's cooled off a little bit.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to try something like the wind chimes, because I think, don't use raw milk that's bad. My mom had 2 friends, 2 different states, not related to each other, totally different situations. Both of them ended up hospitalized, almost dying from drinking raw milk. So, what are you pointing out? Divorce Mike? No way, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever live with him.
Hey, whoa! Hold on a second there, girl.
I'm just saying.
See, I've just held my tongue and not said it. It's funny because with the deer, I was working in our office today, and the deer had this one. I think it's one particular deer had ravaged. Like, how many of those do we have?
I don't know, 10 or
Like
so.
10
They're all
hostas completely.
sheared.
They're just all the little stems are sticking up, and man, the moment they start to put out something else, she comes and snarfs them off. So she was right outside the window, and I kind of was looking at her, and she's looking at me like, "What?" And then I kind of waved my hands to see if she would go away, and she was just looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" Our deer aren't very skittish. I think it's because we've been nice to them. So, in fact, there was a little baby that sat under one of our trees.
One of the deer had twins. They're so cute.
They're so cute, but it's funny because one of them is a little kind of rowdy, and the other one is very cautious. But one of them today was just laying by itself underneath our tree, just kind of resting. Nothing was wrong with it. It was just looking around like it's a hot day. I'm glad to be under here.
Yeah.
But it's really kind of cute to see them.
See, Mama says you're looking good. Have you lost weight too? See?
Some, but not as much as Tara. But I'm working on it.
So yeah, so on the milk, yeah, I tried the let's just see, what is it? A12 or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Milk to see if I did okay with that, and I didn't do okay with that either, which I was kind of sad about. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It stinks not being able to eat cream cheese or just have a bowl of cereal. It kind of stinks, honestly. But not being able to hold a pen in my hand stinks even worse. So that's why I was kind of like, I got to do something. So I just decided to just go cold turkey again. Yep.
Phones, we have T-Mobile as our service. In the past, we had Straight Talk from Walmart, and it seemed okay for us, although other family members said that they didn't have a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Tara has an iPhone that we got because it's what she's using to shoot all the videos.
It does. The camera's so much better.
The camera is fantastic for that. Otherwise, she used to have a lot cheaper phone. And I have a Samsung phone that we had originally gotten back 3 or 4 years ago for videos, but it's not nearly as good as Tara's for that. If we weren't doing the channel, I probably would have a Moto of some sort. The Motorola ones are cheaper, and for normal phone things, it's probably less of an investment. Although one of the things is we tend to not be, add on to your plan so many dollars a month people on phones normally. We usually like to buy them outright. Although with Tara's, we found out that it was less expensive to put it on the plan for the business, so we did that. But we just keep the money stashed so that it's covered. So yeah.
Jane says, anyone ever make homemade sauerkraut with cabbage water and salt? It's cheap to make a probiotic. Yes, but you have to be careful. So one of the first things the doctor did was put me on this wonderful diet called the GAPS diet. And I had to eat all this fermented food, sauerkraut, fermented salsa, fermented pickles, fermented this and fermented that. And I was like in bed, and I'm like, I'm not getting better. Oh, your body's detoxing. I'm like, I'm not getting better. Oh, your body's detoxing. That's a bunch of male cow. And
What?
that's a bunch of male cow.
Oh.
So, and I was like, what is wrong? Well, come to find out, I'm actually highly allergic to mold, which is basically what probiotics are. It's just mold. And so you have to be careful that you're not. So if you do that and you don't start feeling better, you could have a mold allergy, and you may not want to be eating probiotics. They push probiotics this and probiotics that, but sometimes those things aren't good for you if you've got a problem with them. So
Sarah, I don't know if she was talking to you or somebody
so
else.
just be careful is all I'm saying.
She said, what about good karma? And then she said flaxseed milk. You've used flaxseed milk before.
I have used flaxseed.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that one.
But I mean, it's still not milk. It's flaxseed. I mean, it's okay, but
Interesting. Crazy Prepper Linda wasn't a fan of Straight Talk, switched to Mint Mobile. Haven't looked back in 3 years. Man, our son was helping Mint sell at the beginning, but we had marginal experience with Mint. We had good experience with Straight Talk, but we were in the city at the time, so that might have been why. But when we went to Mint, it was less good than Straight Talk for us. And when my daughter and I went to Europe, when our daughter and I went to Europe the first time, we paid for an international add-on to the plan, and when we got there, it just didn't work. And then we had trouble because they didn't want to refund us the amount, even though it didn't work. And so I got really frustrated, and as soon as I got back home, I cut that. But maybe they've improved since then. I don't know. I would say that we would probably be on a less expensive plan if it was just for our regular personal stuff. But for the business, particularly some of the places between here in Colorado and also here, the signal is a little less good for some of the other carriers. So that's why we've done that. And actually, a lot of times we have a hotspot too, because when we drive to Colorado together, I usually work much of the way while Tara's driving, and then sometimes she uses it too when I'm driving. So
yeah, one or the other of us will work while the other one's driving. So
yes, Becky, you do hear cricket. That's funny. You got good ears.
In the door here, so we got some door seal issues we got to be taken care of. Yeah.
Yes, Veronica. I switched. Oh, she says, "Have you tried almond milk?" Yes, we have, and we both like it.
Yeah.
In fact, I use almond milk creamer for the coffee. Although I recently discovered I can drink it black. It's not quite as awesome black, but
Kimberly says I have mold allergies and probiotics don't bother me. Yeah, it doesn't for some people. So I'm just saying, if you start taking that stuff and you start getting a whole lot worse, you might have a mold allergy. So just be careful, because I know they mean well, but they don't always help. Everybody swears that probiotics is going to cure every single thing on the planet. It's not. So, although they've kind of backed away from that a little bit now. So, I mean, that's okay. But Jim misses my holiday tree.
yeah.
That dumb tree.
You did actually take it down, didn't you?
No, it's still
Oh, I could remember for sure.
I was going to take it down until September or October, but I didn't get around to it. But that dumb tree gets more comments.
Actually, it's funny because people are always
So
asking
funny.
why is it that we do it, and mainly it's because one year she took it down and the kids were kind of like, oh, and the next year she said, what if I make it a January tree? And she made it all blue and silver, and it was really pretty, and it was a nice night light in the winter when it's dark. And now, of course, in Colorado it was darker than Kansas in the winter, and here it's darker than Colorado in the winter. Because we have about a half hour more of darkness.
Yeah, the sun, it doesn't get pitch black until like 10:15 in the summer. And
but in the
it
winter,
gets
it's the other way
pitch
around.
black in the winter by 4 easy. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Question, I have Diana Diet Volume 1 and 2, but haven't purchased gluten-free. Is that a sugar-free recipe book? If not, are you going to write one? Gluten-free is no gluten. So gluten's in wheat, barley, oatmeal, some oatmeal.
Although,
So it's gluten-free, it's not sugar-free. And no, I'm not writing a sugar-free cookbook.
but mostly, couldn't you use that white Splenda or the Splenda or the
Yeah.
white Stevia?
Yeah, I
if
mean, you
wanted
can
in
use
place of
any.
sugar?
Yeah, you can use any sugar replacement you want. And
Yeah, because sugar's not
pretty much-
something.
the recipes should be fine.
Unlike butters and oils, the recipe's not picky usually about sugar.
Yeah.
So a lot of those stevia and Splenda both have a version that acts like table sugar.
Threads and jars. I about died last month eating probiotics. It was terrible and triggered every possible allergen in me. Yeah, you have to be careful. Some of these functional medicine doctors and natural doctors and stuff, they'll just push those things on you. And if you're not getting better, I'm sorry, I don't believe that your body has to detox before you start feeling better. That's a bunch of crazy talk.
Some people make it overly complicated, especially if they're selling supplements.
Rose, I'd love a holiday tree. I just don't have room. They're pretty and fun to find at the thrift store. Well, see, that's where you get you a little mini one. I used to have a tabletop one for a long time at a house where we didn't have room for it. So
it's kind of nice if it's dark and depressing at night in some part of the house to have it there, especially when you go through there and then it's like a nightlight.
Yeah. We switched to monk fruit. Yes, monk fruit. I like that pretty well. Do you have a recipe to keep ants away? Dining on a Dime, Volume 1. What was the recipe? I can't remember. Let me find in my tip index, because we have 3 indexes because the book has just gotten so big over the year. Ants is on page 487 in Volume 1, and the tip is, because I can't remember what it was, they never cross a chalk line. So get your chalk out and draw a chalk line on the floor. Or you could just take some chalk and sprinkle it where they're going for. Andrea, we're so inspiring. Oh, thanks.
Katie says, hi from Japan. I was born in Tokyo. Hi. Wow, so let's see. It would be late morning there, right?
Tomorrow.
Good morning. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think so. I think it's similar
I
time.
have to think where the globe is. Yeah.
To our friends in Oz.
I have someone doing some stuff for me in Pakistan, and it said 1 o'clock in the morning when I was texting them on the thing. I was like, 1 o'clock in the morning? Well, I didn't know they were from Pakistan. I thought they were from somewhere else.
Oh, and
I was like, 1 o'clock in the morning? And then I saw she was from Pakistan. I was like, oh, that makes sense now.
And Aiko is on in Japan also. She's frequently on. Hello, we're glad you're here.
Japan. All my mom talks about in Japan was the huge cockroaches when she lived there. So
she lived there in the 1950s, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was crazy. Oh, see, Michelle likes our birds. Can you hear the birds tweeting?
Yes. Maybe we should run the studio with the door and the windows open sometimes.
I mean, we could have Bambi and Bambi's mom come in one day and tell them the adventure that happened today.
We could interview the mail lady.
Yes.
Which adventure today?
In the house with our wildlife sanctuary.
Tara's not a fan of screens, and I am.
I hate screens. And
so we had the sliding glass door open that, we should tell them Mike's sliding glass door disaster. We had the sliding glass door open, we had the front door open, and there was another window open that had no screen, and the boys were in there playing a game on the computer in the living room, and all of a sudden there's all kinds of screaming. I was like, what's going on? They're like, there's a bird in the house, and it was flying around and around the living room. And it's okay, guys, settle down. Only one guy kind of usher it towards one of the open windows or doors. So they did, and then it left. But it was kind of hilarious because it kind of sort of got stuck in there, and they were panicked about it. But I think they just didn't know what it was going to do. Mostly if it was going to decide to poop on something. Yeah, the door thing. I think it was last week before we went to Colorado. We had gotten the sprinklers started, and we tested them, and it seemed like this was the first year we winterized the sprinklers and restarted them. When we restarted them,
and he was not in a good frame of mind doing it, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't. And Jack and I we had tested them, and we went out and we're supposed to have turned on one of the zones, and we went out and one of the zones was spraying water. So we thought, yay, this is great. And then about an hour later, I was looking around to see if it had gone to the next zone, and I realized the same one was on. And then I kind of watched it a little more, and I was thinking, did that change zones? I don't think so. Oh, look.
Oh.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, can you guys see it? Look. Can you see? Oh my goodness, aren't they cute? Oh, look at that. How cute. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Don't move, guys. Don't move. Can you see it on this? Can you see it?
Yeah, it's up just a little bit. Yeah. So that's mom and the babies. That's Jenny and the babies.
Oh, goodness. Aren't they just stinking cute?
So I was just sitting here looking, and there they are. Anyway, that was kind of cool. That's the nice thing about being wireless on this thing. We could actually have gotten close.
Ooh, Jolene had the Greek salad in Dining on a Dime Volume 2. That sounds kind of good. I might make that. That sounds pretty good.
Yep. So anyway, it turned out that I realized something was wrong. So we had been done with it about 7 o'clock, but now it was like 9 o'clock. And so I went out there and I was working on it, and it was getting dark, and it ended up getting very dark while I was working on it. But I realized there was either something was, a valve was open or something was broken, and I wasn't sure which. And I was out there and I couldn't get a flashlight that had good batteries, and
Because we're real prepared around here.
yeah. And I went to it was a test of our preparedness, and then I went and I was looking because I thought one of the valves probably didn't get turned off last year. So I opened the box, and I realized our house has boxes all over the place, sprinkler boxes, and our old one only had 2 for all the sprinklers. But I finally found the right one, and I opened it, and there was a hornet's nest in there. So
that went over like a fart in a spacesuit, like as he likes to say.
So I went and killed the hornets, and then I got back in there again, and I turned the valve that normally I would turn, and it still didn't stop. And then later I went on YouTube, and I found out there's another valve that I didn't know about on those, and I turned that off, and it finally turned off the whole thing. But it was totally dark outside, and I came up on the deck to come in the back door, and I thought, is that screen open or closed? And I thought, oh, okay, it's open. And then I just kind of walked right into it, and it was closed. But by that point,
and he took out our screen door.
But at that point, my forward momentum was so much that I couldn't stop myself, and I was trying to stop, but I just couldn't. And it was like an Indiana Jones walking in the spiderwebs moment of, and it just pulled the whole screen out of the door. So
here's my next thumbnail.
Yep, pretty much. So anyway, so the screen is still like that because we left the next day, didn't we? So we'll have to go get it. At least the screen's not broken. It's just that little, around the edge of a screen, you lay the screen on there and you push this little thing
I
down.
have right here, you will note the screen man.
Oh, yes.
Is going to be coming to our house. I need to call him to come to our house.
Awesome. We'll have to invite the screen man over, get some brownies and stuff. But yeah, screens, you can tear them by accident or on purpose, I guess, if you want to. But they have this little stuff that you push in around a crack all the way around, and that holds it in. And all that really happened is it just peeled out of that. So it's not actually broken. It just needs to be reset.
I don't think it peeled. I think it's sliced. So it won't stretch back on there.
Okay, I was wrong. Maybe. We'll have to find out.
Well, go ahead and put it back on.
Oh, everybody's loving the deer.
Sarah,
yes.
Do we get bears? Yes, there are bears here. So
we've never seen one, but there was a sign that there had been one in our yard a few weeks ago. And last year there was one definitely sighted. And we've been told that there was a mountain lion here a few months ago. But all we really see is the deer, and we've seen a raccoon and snakes. No poisonous snakes so far. But we have a lot of non-poisonous snakes.
Something's digging in my garden. I think it's maybe a raccoon. Totally tore up on my deck. Totally tore up my raised bed the other day. I just about ready to strangle a raccoon. And so yeah. So we've got all kinds of things. So all right, guys, please visit us livingonadime.com. Check out our cookbooks, 25% off now. We are going to be doing a tour 1 year next year, or next week is our 1 year anniversary of living here. And I'm going to be doing a tour of that on a week from Friday's video.
Also, if you don't have a Bible, we give away
Oh,
Bibles
yes.
for free.
Yes, if you need
Can't
a
afford
Bible,
one. So, yep.
let us know if we have a Bible. Susan wants to know, is there anything we regret about moving to Wyoming?
No, we really like it. They like it a lot.
Wish I would have been here 20 years ago. Saved myself a lot of headache.
It's not for everyone. Like, if you don't like being in a remote place.
If you don't like being able to not go to Hobby Lobby whenever you want or go to Target whenever you want, then it's not for you. But if you're okay with that, I hate Target anyway, and I refuse to shop there anyway. So.
And the winter is probably longer than Colorado.
Just not much.
It's not bad.
By about 2 weeks.
If you hate winter
Yeah.
and you hate darkness in the winter, it would not be such a great place.
Yeah, but we lived in Idaho.
We like
so
it a lot. It's great.
All right, lemonundying.com.
Bye.
We will see you guys next time. Bye. Hopefully. Here, thumbnail. Oh, here.